I discovered my wife's 2-year affair. When a woman jumped her at church screaming Homewrecker, I thought the lady was just a crazy Karen. Turns out my wife's a cheating beat, so I burned her whole life down. So there I was, standing in a church parking lot, watching some random woman try to scalp my wife. Not exactly the spiritual awakening I was hoping for that Sunday morning. I, 45 male, have been married to Bianca, 44 female, for 4 years. Together for 6. Standard suburban setup. 3-bedroom house with a mortgage that hurt every time I thought about it. 2 cars that mostly worked. Both of us are going through the motions of what normal couples do. Church on Sundays, dinner with friends occasionally, the occasional weekend trip. Everything looked fine from the outside. We attended this place called Cornerstone Community. Been going for about 3 years. Bianca's idea originally. Said she wanted to be part of a faith community again. Meet people. Get involved. All very wholesome sounding. I'd grown up in church, so it wasn't a hard sell. Seemed like a good way to ground ourselves in something real. That particular Sunday morning started normal enough. Got up, got dressed. Drove to the 11 o'clock service. Sat through worship and a sermon about patience or kindness, or whatever the topic was. Can't even remember now because of what happened next. Service ended around noon. I headed toward our car, while Bianca stayed back near the entrance talking to some women from her small group. Normal Sunday routine. I was already thinking about lunch. Maybe that sandwich place down the road. Nothing heavy. Then I heard screaming. Turned around to see this woman in her mid-30s absolutely losing it on my wife. Dress in heels like she'd come from service herself. Face red as a stoplight. Screaming about homewreckers and destroyed families while yanking Bianca's hair like we were back in middle school. I jogged over quick. Hey, get off her! What's your problem? Pushed between them. Shoved the woman back. She stumbled but caught herself on a car bumper. Then she pointed at Bianca like she was identifying a criminal in a lineup. Vanessa, you ruined my marriage. You destroyed my family. I blinked. Vanessa? Lady, her name is Bianca. You've got the wrong person. The woman's face twisted into something between rage and disgust. Don't play games with me. This piece of trash has been sleeping with my husband for months. They're getting divorced because of her. My kids cry themselves to sleep every night because their dad chose her over us. Bianca was fixing her hair, breathing hard but not freaking out. Just annoyed. I don't even know you. You're completely insane. Don't lie to me. I know everything. You've been seeing Zane, meeting him at hotels, at his apartment. I've seen the receipts. Zane. Never heard that name before in my life. And this woman was calling my wife Vanessa. Clearly had her wires crossed. Lady, I think you've seriously got the wrong person, I said. My wife's name is Bianca, not Vanessa, and she doesn't know anyone named Zane. You need to leave before this gets worse. She pulled out her phone, started scrolling. Really? Then explain this. Shoved the screen at me. Blurry photo taken from inside a car. Could have been anyone, honestly. The quality was trash. That could be anybody, I said. This is ridiculous. People were staring now. Half the congregation still in the parking lot. Nothing says quality Sunday worship like watching 2 women almost throw down in front of God and everybody. I'm not going anywhere until this homewrecker admits what she did to my family. Bianca grabbed my arm. Callum, let's just go. She's clearly unhinged. The woman stepped closer, right in Bianca's face. Unhinged? You ruined my life and I'm unhinged? You've been sleeping with my husband while I'm home with our kids and I'm the crazy one? I don't know your husband, Bianca said. Loud now, more annoyed than defensive. You've got the wrong person. Wrong name, wrong everything. Now back off before I call the cops. The woman looked like she wanted to throw another punch, but she glanced around at all the witnesses and seemed to think better of it. Instead, she got real close. You think I don't know? You think I haven't been watching? I know about your afternoon meetings, your lunch dates at that Italian place, your car parked outside his apartment building. I know everything about you, Vanessa. You don't know anything because there's nothing to know, Bianca shot back. You're just some jealous, paranoid Karen making stuff up. Get help, the woman's jaw clenched. She looked at me. Your wife is a liar and a homewrecker. When you figure that out, don't say nobody warned you. Then she walked to her car, peeled out of the parking lot, while half the church stood there gawking at us. The lead pastor came over. Everything okay here? Yeah, just some confused person, I said. Wrong name, wrong people. Probably needs to lay off the true crime podcasts. He looked concerned, but nodded. All right. Well, if you need to talk about anything, you know where to find me. We got in our car, drove home in silence. Bianca spent the whole ride on her phone, texting somebody, probably telling her friends about the crazy lady who couldn't even get her name right. I let it go. Seemed like mistaken identity. Some woman going through a messy divorce and targeting random people who vaguely looked like her husband's actual affair partner. The wrong name sealed it for me. Clearly had the wrong person, but something sat wrong. The way Bianca didn't even seem surprised. Just annoyed. Like she'd been inconvenienced by slow service at a restaurant instead of accused of destroying a family in front of half our church. And that name, Zane. Why did it feel familiar? We got home. Bianca acted completely normal. Made lunch. Watched TV. Did laundry like nothing happened. Didn't mention the parking lot incident once. Just moved on like it never occurred. I tried to do the same. Figured it was nothing. Turns out my instincts were garbage. Got home from work early Tuesday, around 4 in the afternoon. We'd finished inventory ahead of schedule, and my supervisor cut us loose. Rare win on a Tuesday. Bianca's car wasn't in the driveway. She'd texted earlier saying she was meeting a friend for coffee and running errands. Standard Tuesday afternoon cover story. Didn't think twice about it. Figured I'd have the house to myself for a few hours. Perfect. Could finally watch that documentary about the Pacific Theater without Bianca complaining about depressing war content. Grabbed a drink from the fridge, settled into the couch, turned on the TV, and that's when my entire life imploded. Our TV was a smart TV, connected to the same iCloud account as Bianca's phone because she liked being able to stream photos during family gatherings, show off vacation pictures to relatives, cute couple selfies, that wholesome content everyone pretends their lives actually look like. Except when I turned on the TV, the home screen showed a preview of recently synced photos. Right there in the middle of the screen was a picture of my wife with some guy's hand on her waist, both of them smiling. Real cozy looking. My stomach dropped. Clicked on it without thinking. The photo app opened. An album titled V and Z with a little heart emoji. V and Z, not B and Z. My finger hovered over the remote for a solid 10 seconds. Part of me knew I shouldn't look. Part of me knew I needed to. Clicked. 347 photos. Started scrolling. Every image made me want to put my fist through something expensive. Pictures of Bianca with this guy at restaurants. At his apartment. At a hotel I recognized from a weekend she'd told me she was visiting her college roommate in Charlotte. She'd sent me photos from that trip. Said she was having girl time, catching up on old memories. More photos. Beach shots. Concert photos. His car. Kissing. His hands all over her. Her smiling at him the way she used to smile at me back when I apparently still mattered. Checked the timestamps. The oldest photo was from 2 years ago. 2 years. Not a mistake. Not a brief lapse in judgment. A whole parallel relationship running alongside ours. My hands were shaking. Set the remote down before I threw it through the screen. Pulled out my phone. Opened Bianca's shared photo album from my end. Same thing. All those pictures synced across both our devices. She'd been so careful hiding this from me directly, but she'd forgotten about the automatic iCloud backup pushing everything to our TV. Technology. Making liars sloppy since 2007. Then I noticed the text message screenshots in some of the photos. Can't wait to see you tonight, Vanessa. Miss you already, V. Vanessa, you make everything better. Vanessa. That woman in the parking lot hadn't been crazy. She'd called Bianca by her real name, the name my wife had been using with her affair partner. The name she'd been living under for 2 years while playing devoted church wife with me. My wife wasn't just cheating. She'd created an entire fake identity to do it. Found photos from the weekend she'd told me she was at a work conference in Atlanta. She'd called me every night, complained about boring presentations and terrible hotel food. Meanwhile, she was with this guy. Same weekend, same city, living as Vanessa while I sat at home like an idiot, believing every word. Then I found something that made everything worse. A screenshot of a text from Bianca to Zane. Just got approved for another one. Limit is 8,000. Dinner at that place you wanted to try? Another one. Another what? Scrolled further. Found a photo of a credit card. Same bank as ours, but different design. Name on it looked like mine, but the account number was wrong. Didn't recognize it. My credit score had dropped about 100 points over the last year. I'd noticed, but figured it was from the mortgage and car payments. Normal life expenses. Hadn't thought much about it. Started thinking about it now. Grabbed my laptop. Pulled up my credit monitoring account, the one I'd set up years ago and barely checked. Logged in. Page loaded. 3 credit cards I didn't recognize. Total balance of $42,000. All showing my name. All opened within the last 18 months. Click through to details. Different issuers. Different open dates. All linked to my social security number. Went back to the photo album. Searched for anything financial. Found more screenshots. Credit card statements. Purchase confirmations. A photo of what looked like a loan application with my signature at the bottom, except I'd never signed it. The signature looked close, but the capital C was wrong. Too rounded. She'd practiced it. Got it mostly right. Close enough to fool automated systems, but not close enough if anyone actually compared it to my real signature. Pulled up my banking app. Checked accounts I actually knew about. Nothing missing from checking. Savings looked normal. Logged back into the credit monitoring site. Pulled the full report. Found 2 personal loans I'd never opened. $15,000 from some online lender. $8,000 from another. Both approved within the last year. Both showing regular payments being made from accounts I didn't control. Did the math. Credit cards, personal loans. Over $65,000 in debt I didn't know existed. All in my name. All used to fund hotels and dinners and jewelry for her affair. She'd been stealing my identity while pretending to be someone named Vanessa. Double life funded by double fraud. Started screenshotting everything. The texts calling her Vanessa. The photos of credit cards. The loan documents. The purchase receipts showing charges I'd never made. Hotel bookings. Restaurant bills. Jewelry purchases that I'd never seen her wear around me. Probably wore them for Zane. Or maybe Vanessa wore them. Hard to keep track at this point. Spent 2 hours going through everything. Building a case without even realizing that's what I was doing. Just documenting. Screenshotting. Organizing evidence like I was preparing for war. Turns out I was. I heard Bianca's car pull into the driveway around 6:30. She came through the front door carrying shopping bags. Big smile. Normal evening energy. Still Bianca. Not Vanessa. Not yet anyway. Hey, you're home early. How was work? I was still on the couch. TV off now. Phone in my hand with all the screenshots saved and backed up to 3 different places. Productive. Real enlightening day, actually. She set the bags on the kitchen counter. Started unloading them. New clothes. Makeup. Stuff she definitely didn't need, but apparently Vanessa did. Found some great sales today. You wouldn't believe the deals. I'm sure. She kept talking about her day. The coffee shop. The stores. Her friend who apparently existed. Standard cover story delivered with the confidence of someone who'd been practicing for 2 years. I didn't say anything. Just sat there watching her perform, wondering how many times she'd done this exact routine. Came home from seeing Zane. Acted normal. Pretended to be my wife while really being someone else entirely. You okay? She asked. You're quiet. Just thinking. About what? About how I need to run some errands tomorrow. Handle some business. Boring stuff. She shrugged. Okay. Want me to make dinner? Sure. She moved around the kitchen like everything was normal. Like she hadn't just spent the afternoon as Vanessa. Like she wasn't drowning us in fraudulent debt. Like she hadn't been lying to my face for 2 years. After dinner, I told her I had some work emails to catch up on. Went to my home office. Closed the door. Spent 3 hours researching lawyers. Found one who specialized in divorce and fraud cases. Sent an email with all my screenshots attached. Explained the situation. The affair. The fake name. The identity theft. The whole mess. Got a response in 40 minutes. Emergency consultation scheduled for 8 the next morning. He sounded excited in the email. Probably didn't get many cases with this much documentation right out of the gate. Then I researched the process for reporting identity theft. What I'd need. What documentation to bring. How to protect myself from additional fraud. Made a list. Checked it twice. Started feeling like that guy in those old westerns my dad used to watch. The quiet one who sits there taking abuse until he doesn't. Then everyone who wronged him regrets it. She went to bed. I stayed in my office planning. Organizing. Making sure every detail was covered. By 2 in the morning, I had a complete plan. Lawyer meeting at 8. Police station at 10. Bank at noon to separate accounts and freeze joint access. Locksmith at 2 to change the house locks. Everything mapped out. Bianca would be at work all day Wednesday. Standard schedule. Gave me plenty of time to lock everything down before she even knew what was happening. The lawyer meeting went exactly how I needed it to go. Showed him everything. The photos. The texts using the fake name. The credit cards. The forged loan documents. The whole disaster. He leaned back in his chair. This isn't just a divorce. This is felony fraud. Multiple counts. And the fake identity makes it worse. Shows premeditation. Planning? This wasn't impulsive. This was calculated. What do I do? First, we file divorce papers immediately. I'll include a motion for exclusive possession of the marital home given the fraud circumstances. Second, you report the identity theft to police. Today. Get it documented. Third, we freeze everything. Bank accounts, credit access, all of it. Don't give her time to do more damage. Can I kick her out of the house? Given the fraud and the ongoing criminal activity, yes. We'll file an emergency motion. With this evidence, you'll get it. She used your identity to fund an extramarital affair under a false name. Judges don't look kindly on that. He drew up the paperwork while I sat there. Divorce petition, motion for exclusive possession, restraining order, preventing her from accessing joint accounts or opening anything else in my name. Filed everything electronically before I left his office. Got a case number. Court date set for 3 weeks out. Went straight to the police station. Filed a report for identity theft and fraud. Provided copies of everything. The forged documents, credit card statements, loan applications. Left the station feeling slightly less destroyed. At least the wheels were moving. At least there would be consequences. Went to the bank. Transferred half the joint savings into a new account in just my name. Left her half sitting there. Wasn't trying to steal. Just protecting what was mine. Closed joint credit cards. Froze my credit to prevent any more fraudulent applications. Locksmith showed up at 2. Changed all the locks. New keys. Only one set and it was staying with me. By 4 in the afternoon, everything was locked down. She'd spent the day as a healthcare administrator, or whatever her actual job was. She pulled into the driveway at 5:30. I was sitting in the living room. Divorce papers on the coffee table. Police report printed out next to them. All the screenshots pulled up on my laptop. She came through the front door. Tried her key. Didn't work. Heard her trying it again. Then knocking. I got up. Opened the door. Didn't invite her in. Callum? Why doesn't my key work? Because I changed the locks. She blinked. What? You can't just change the locks. I live here. Not anymore. I stepped aside. She walked in. Saw the papers on the table. Her face hardened. What is this? Divorce papers. Also a police report for identity theft and fraud. You're done here. She crossed her arms. You're being ridiculous. What are you even talking about? I'm talking about Vanessa. I'm talking about Zane. I'm talking about 2 years of lying and cheating while you racked up $65,000 in debt using my identity. That clear enough? She rolled her eyes. Oh, please. You're seriously going to make a big deal out of this now? Our TV syncs to your iCloud. 347 photos of you and Zane. 2 years worth. Hotels I paid for without knowing it. Restaurants funded by credit cards I never opened. A whole relationship with a fake name that you somehow thought I'd never find out about. She shrugged. So what? We had problems. I needed something for myself. You were always working anyway. You committed fraud. It's not fraud. We're married. What's yours is mine. That's how marriage works, Callum. I walked past her to the stairs. Started grabbing her things from the bedroom. Threw them down into the hallway. Shoes. Makeup bag. That stupid decorative pillow she insisted we needed. What are you doing? She followed me up. Stop touching my stuff. I kept going. Pulled her clothes out of the closet. Armful after armful. Dropped them on the landing. You can't just throw me out. This is my house, too. Actually, it's my house. My name on the mortgage. My income paying for it. You committed crimes against me. You're leaving. Now. She grabbed one of the shirts I was holding. I'm not going anywhere until we talk about this like adults. I let go of the shirt. She stumbled back. I went to the bathroom. Started emptying her drawers into a garbage bag. Hair products. Face stuff. All of it. Zane's wife already knows, she said behind me. We're going to be together anyway. His divorce is almost done. This was going to happen eventually. I walked past her with the bag. Threw it down the stairs. Went back for more. You're acting insane right now. Grabbed her jewelry box. The framed photos of her family. Her laptop from the desk in the corner. I deserve better than this, she said. Better than you. Zane actually appreciates me. I carried everything downstairs. Dumped it by the front door. Went back up. She was standing in the bedroom doorway. You think you're going to find someone else? Good luck. You're boring. You're predictable. Nobody wants that. I pushed past her. Got her work bag from the office, her coat from the closet, the box of her random junk from the hall closet, brought it all down. Piled it by the door. Everything she owned now sitting in my entryway. She came down behind me. This is ridiculous. I'm not leaving. You're overreacting to something that doesn't even matter anymore. I opened the front door. Started moving her stuff outside. One bag at a time. One box at a time. Callum, stop it. I didn't stop. Kept going until everything was on the driveway. Her clothes, her shoes, her whole life packed up like garbage day. She stood there, arms crossed, face red. You're going to regret this. Zane treats me like a queen. You'll die alone in this house with nothing. I walked back inside. Stood in the doorway. You'll regret this. Only thing I regret is not finding out sooner. She picked up one of the bags. Threw it in her car. Came back for another one. That woman at church is crazy. And you're just like her, bitter and pathetic. Get off my property. She grabbed the last box, slammed it into her trunk, got in the car, rolled down the window. Enjoy your miserable life, Callum. Enjoy your fraud charges, Vanessa. She peeled out of the driveway, tires squealing. Gone. I locked the door, set the deadbolt, stood there breathing hard, hands shaking, but not from fear, from adrenaline, from finally doing something instead of just taking it. The divorce hearing happened 3 weeks later. Felt like forever, but the timeline actually moved fast compared to most divorces. Emergency circumstances and fraud charges sped things up. Bianca showed up with her lawyer and her mother, dressed conservatively, hair perfect, makeup done to look sympathetic but not overdone. The whole performance. Pure Bianca. Vanessa was staying home for this one. Her mother looked like she'd been sucking lemons for breakfast. Sour face, arms crossed, glaring at me like I'd personally destroyed Western civilization. My lawyer had warned me. She's going to play victim. Her mother will probably testify that you're controlling or abusive. They'll try to flip this, make you look like the bad guy. But we have the evidence. Just stay calm. The judge was a woman in her 50s. Looked tired of dealing with messy divorces and people's drama. Can't say I blamed her. Bianca's lawyer went first, painted me as a controlling husband who'd kicked his wife out without warning, who'd filed false police reports out of revenge, who was trying to take everything in the divorce out of spite. Made it sound like I was some kind of monster. Left out the whole identity theft thing. Minor detail, apparently. Then, Bianca's mother took the stand. This was going to be good. Can you tell the court about your son-in-law? Bianca's lawyer asked. He's always been controlling, she said. Eyes already watering. Real committed to the act. Constantly monitoring my daughter. Questioning where she goes, who she talks to, what she spends money on. When she made one mistake, one brief error in judgment, he threw her out and called the police. He's vindictive. Dangerous. My daughter is terrified of him. I almost laughed. Controlling? I hadn't even known about the affair or the fraud until 2 months ago. Hadn't monitored anything. But she was selling it hard. He's manipulating the legal system to punish my daughter for a momentary lapse in judgment. She had a brief relationship that she regrets deeply. But instead of being a man about it and working things out, he's trying to destroy her life. He wants to see her in jail. He wants to take everything in the divorce. This isn't about justice. This is revenge. Bianca was crying in her seat, really committed to the victim role. Deserved an award, honestly. My lawyer stood up. Didn't even look annoyed. Just ready. Your Honor, I'd like to present some evidence that contradicts this testimony. Walked to the judge's bench. Handed over a folder. Inside were printed copies of everything. The photos. The texts calling her Vanessa. The forged loan documents. The credit card statements. The timeline showing 2 years of systematic fraud. The police report verifying the investigation. The judge started reading. Her expression shifted from neutral to skeptical to genuinely irritated. My lawyer kept going. The respondent's mother testified that this was a brief relationship, a momentary lapse in judgment. The evidence shows a sustained 2-year affair conducted under a false identity. The respondent documented the entire relationship with photos that were automatically synced to their shared iCloud account. He pulled out more papers. Additionally, the testimony claimed that my client is controlling and vindictive. This doesn't align with the fact that her daughter committed multiple counts of identity theft and fraud against him. She opened 3 credit cards, 2 personal loans, and multiple accounts in his name without his knowledge. The total fraudulent debt exceeds $65,000. These are police-verified crimes, not false reports filed out of revenge. Bianca's lawyer tried to object. Your Honor, these allegations... The judge held up her hand. I'm reading. Wait. Took her 5 minutes to go through everything. Then she looked at Bianca's mother. You testified that your son-in-law is controlling and that your daughter's affair was a brief mistake. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. And you testified that he filed false police reports out of revenge. That's right. The judge held up one of the credit card statements. Then how do you explain these? 3 credit cards opened in your son-in-law's name without his knowledge. Used to fund your daughter's affair. Hotels, dinners, jewelry purchases, all charged to accounts he never authorized, and conducted under a false identity to hide the affair. Bianca's mother opened her mouth, closed it, looked at her lawyer. I didn't know about those. You didn't know your daughter committed identity theft and fraud against her husband while using a fake name? She didn't tell me that part. So when you testified under oath that he filed false police reports, you were lying, because these reports are based on actual crimes your daughter committed over 2 years, systematically. I wasn't lying. I just didn't have all the information. The judge leaned forward, not happy. So you came into my courtroom and testified about facts you didn't verify. You called this man controlling and dangerous based solely on your daughter's version of events, without confirming whether she was telling you the truth. Did your daughter mention she was using the name Vanessa during this affair? Bianca's mother looked at the floor. No, she didn't mention that. Did she mention the $65,000 in fraudulent debt? No. So you testified to a story your daughter told you while she conveniently left out every detail that would make her look guilty. You came here to help your daughter avoid consequences for crimes she actually committed. I was just trying to support her. By lying under oath? I wasn't lying, I didn't know everything. The judge looked at Bianca. Do you have anything to say about these documents? The credit cards, the loans, the forged signatures, the fake identity you used for 2 years? Bianca wiped her eyes, still playing the victim. I made mistakes, Your Honor. I was in a bad place emotionally. I wasn't thinking clearly. You weren't thinking clearly for 2 years? While opening multiple fraudulent accounts and conducting an affair under a false name? That's a remarkably long period of unclear thinking. It got out of hand. I didn't mean for it to go this far. The judge set down the papers, looked tired. Here's what I see. A husband who discovered his wife was having a long-term affair under a false identity and committing identity theft against him. He filed for divorce and reported crimes to the police, which is his legal right. In response, the wife and her family have attempted to paint him as abusive and controlling, despite zero evidence of that behavior. Meanwhile, the evidence of fraud and infidelity is extensive and documented. The false identity shows clear premeditation. This wasn't a mistake. This was calculated. She looked at Bianca's lawyer. Your client is not getting spousal support. She's not getting half the house. Given the ongoing criminal investigation for fraud and identity theft, I'm awarding the marital home entirely to the petitioner. The respondent will be responsible for the fraudulent debt as part of the divorce settlement. She'll receive only her personal belongings and her vehicle. No alimony, no assets. Bianca stood up. Your Honor, please, that's not fair. I'll have nothing. You should have considered that before committing felony fraud against your spouse while living as someone else. If you want assets, don't commit crimes to fund affairs. This ruling stands. The gavel came down. Bianca's lawyer tried to argue, but the judge wasn't having it. Case closed. I got everything. Bianca got nothing but debt and consequences. Bianca collapsed into her chair sobbing. Her mother looked stunned. Her lawyer was already packing his briefcase. My lawyer shook my hand. That went better than expected. Yeah, it did. Walked out of that courtroom with everything I'd worked for. Bianca walked out with nothing but the mess she'd created. Felt like justice. 6 months later, everything had settled into a new normal. Divorce finalized. House secured. Credit slowly recovering. Bianca had pleaded guilty to reduced fraud charges. 3 years probation. Full restitution of the debt. Community service. No jail time, but a permanent record and a payment plan that would haunt her for years. Turned out Zane got destroyed in his divorce too. Kennedy took everything. The house, primary custody, child support, and alimony that would keep him broke for the foreseeable future. Last I heard, he was living in some rundown apartment complex, working 2 jobs to cover his payments. The fallout was predictable. Bianca and Zane moved in together after both divorces finalized. Couldn't afford separate places. Both drowning in debt and legal fees. Both working full-time to barely survive. The affair that seemed so exciting when they were sneaking around in hotels turned into just 2 broke people sharing a cramped apartment and resenting each other. I'd been keeping things casual. No rush to jump into anything serious after that disaster. Met a girl named Ashley at the gym about a month back. We'd hooked up a few times. Nothing complicated. No expectations. Just 2 adults having a good time without any drama or secret identities. Ashley was cool. We weren't dating or anything. Just occasional hangouts that sometimes involved staying over. No pressure. That particular Sunday afternoon, Ashley had come over. We'd ordered food, watched some movies, normal casual Sunday stuff that didn't require deep conversations or future planning. Then the doorbell rang. Wasn't expecting anyone. Figured it was the delivery guy forgetting something. Opened the door. Bianca was standing there, looking absolutely wrecked. Hair a mess. Clothes wrinkled. And a massive black eye that was still fresh. Purple and swollen on the left side of her face. Callum, she said, voice shaky. Can we talk? What happened to your face? She touched the black eye gingerly. Kennedy happened. She showed up at our apartment last week. Started screaming about Zane's child support being late. Things got physical. I almost laughed. Kennedy had finally snapped. Good for her. Okay, and you came here because I need help. Please, just 5 minutes. There's nothing to talk about. Divorce is final. You're handling restitution through the court. We're done. She glanced past me into the house, saw Ashley sitting on the couch in one of my shirts. Her already damaged face somehow looked worse. Who's that? None of your business. Please, Callum. I made mistakes. I know I did. But I've been thinking and I miss you. Miss what we had. Just drop the act. I was confused. I made bad choices. But we were good together once. Before everything got complicated, those were your decisions. Zane and I aren't working out. He's not who I thought he was. He's bitter about Kennedy, angry about child support. Takes it out on me. I realized what I had with you was real, was good. I want to try again. That's not my problem. You destroyed what we had. Can't put that back together. She looked at Ashley again, tears mixing with the bruising on her face. You moved on fast. Guess I didn't mean much. You're absolutely right. I expected you to have some compassion, some understanding. I had plenty of both, right up until I found out you'd been lying to my face for 2 years while destroying my credit. Now I have clarity instead. She started crying harder. Right there on my porch, with her Kennedy-delivered black eye on full display. Please, Callum, I have nowhere to go. Zane's talking about breaking up. I can't afford my own place. I'm barely surviving. I need help. Call your mother. Call your friends. Call a lawyer. Don't call me. I'm begging you. Just let me come inside. We can talk. Figure something out. There's nothing to figure out. You made your choices. Live with them. Ashley appeared behind me, crossed her arms, looked at Bianca with zero sympathy. This your ex? Yeah, I said. Just leaving. Bianca's face shifted from desperate to angry. You're really choosing some random hookup over me? After everything we had? You chose Zane over me. As Vanessa. Remember that? I'm just moving forward with people who don't commit fraud. Pretty low bar, but apparently necessary. Ashley stepped forward. Random hookup? That's cute coming from someone with a black eye and a criminal record. Oh no. Bianca's eyes went wide. Excuse me? You heard me. You look like you got your face rearranged already. Maybe take the hint and leave. Who do you think you are? Someone who's not desperate enough to beg her ex for help. That's who. Bianca lunged. Just straight up threw herself at Ashley, like she'd completely lost it. Years of frustration and desperation boiling over into pure, stupid rage. Ashley sidestepped. Not fast enough. They both went down on my porch in a tangle of arms and screaming. Are you kidding me right now? I grabbed Bianca's arm, pulled her back. She was flailing, wild, completely unhinged. Ashley got up first, brushed herself off. Psycho much! Bianca charged again. This time Ashley was ready. One solid punch right to Bianca's other eye. Clean hit! Bianca went down hard on the porch. Okay, we're done. I stepped between them. Looked at Bianca sprawled on my porch with 2 black eyes now. One from Kennedy, one from Ashley. Matching set. You need to leave, now. Bianca sat up slowly, both eyes already swelling, blood from her nose, crying and gasping. You let her hit me. You attacked her first, on my property, which I have security cameras on. You need to go before I call the cops. She stayed there for another minute, sobbing, both eyes destroyed, looking like she'd gone 10 rounds and lost every single one. Finally, she stumbled to her feet, walked to her car like a zombie, drove off leaving blood drops on my porch. Ashley looked at me. Your ex is insane. Yeah, that tracks. We went back inside. I cleaned the blood off my porch. Ashley washed her hands. The whole thing took maybe 10 minutes total, but felt like an hour. You okay? I asked. She shrugged. Fine. She hits like a toddler. You okay? Honestly? Yeah. Next morning, I went to the courthouse, filed for a restraining order, provided the security footage of Bianca showing up uninvited and attacking Ashley, provided the divorce records, the fraud case, everything. Judge granted it same day. Stay away order. No contact. Minimum 500 feet at all times. Violation would mean jail time regardless of her probation status. Bianca made her choices. She destroyed her own life. That's what happens when you play stupid games. You win stupid prizes. And she'd won the grand prize of losing everything, while the person she'd betrayed moved on and found something real. Or at least something that didn't involve fraud and fake identities. Plus, she got punched in the face twice in 1 week. Once by Kennedy, once by Ashley, both deserved. Couldn't have written a better ending myself. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.